Hello friends, happy Friday. I hope everyone is doing fine tonight and your weekend is off to a great start. It's great to be here, great to be back. Missed you all last week. Let's see who's visiting with us. We got Stony Lawn Cottage Pipe, Daniel Leslie, .777, Tim Afternoon Delight Fournier. Good to see you this morning, Tim. Big Dave, Corvette Jim. How you doing, Jim? Jeffrey Feinberg, Burley Nut Bob, Sailor. Sailor's got an old basket billiard with old Joe Krantz and Johnny Walker Black on the side. Sounds good. St. David's Pipes. Hello, David. Signalman Tony from Rhode Island. Good to see you, Tony. Fantastic. Corvette Jim's got SMS Mirror Poker with Cherry Cobbler. Sounds good, Jim. Thank you, Big Dave. It's good to be back. Burley Nut Bob's Country Gentleman with Sir Walter Raleigh and Iced Tea. MTMTB. Hello there. And Armchair Piper. How's it going, Ed? Ed, it looks like we're not going to miss out on the Richmond show after all, my friend. So good to see you guys come back and didn't forget. Seeing as how we didn't have a show last week. But there's Bear Wolf and Miss Kathy. How you doing tonight, Steve and Kathy? Steve, I hope you're feeling a bit better there, my friend. Saw your video last night and sorry to see you're in a bad way. Michael Case, smoking nightcap match in a custom-built Rhodesian. Very nice. How do you know if a custom-built is a Rhodesian? That's it, because they're big and clunky, you know. Okay, it sounded funny in my head. It wasn't. But St. David's Pipe says Richmond is back on. No, Richmond, not as far as I know, David. Hey, the Smooth Piper Peter. Good to see you tonight, Peter. Daniel Leslie is going to get the conversation started with a question from me. Fantastic, Daniel. If you carve a pipe, which shape would you do, and what wood would you use? I would make a billiard, and I would use briar, because everybody knows the best pipes are billiards, and the only thing that pipe should be made of is briar. I hope that helped you, Daniel. Glad to hear it's a bit better, Steve. I did not run into Jim at Lazarus Pipes, Tim. Honestly, the show was not that well organized that I could even tell, like, if Lazarus Pipes was there. It was just kind of like tables of pipes, and there were no, like, signs or anything, which is a little disappointing. Cliff Higgins, good evening. Good to see you, Cliff. Not a big fan of Morta, Daniel. It's okay, but wouldn't be my choice. Peter the Smooth Piper is smoking some classic Burley cake and the Friday 7 Ellie second. Very cool. And Bear Wolf and/or Miss Kathy has got some Prince Albert in a pipe from Garbage Man Piper. Very nice. I am smoking Haunted Bookshop in the Friday 7 Ellie, as is tradition here on Friday night. The Matches Memorial Friday 7 Ellie. Sorry. Don't actually have a non-Matches Memorial Friday 7 Ellie. JMZ56. How you doing, John? A little late, not late at all. I just barely got here myself. Oh, Daniel, they weren't awesome, but but you're welcome. Flattery will get you nowhere, buddy. So it's a hot, humid day here today. I'm surprised at how warm it is down here in the basement. It's funny, normally I don't feel hot down here, even though the furnace is down here and everything. In the summertime, it's just cool because we're so far below ground, but this year has been brutal. ENAS Dad, hello Robert. .777 olive wood, cherry, oak, cobs. My friend asked me to make one out of some mulberry. I don't know if he intended to smoke it. So ... has some other wood choices for you. Piper on the 45, good evening to you, sir. I read about during the war, briar was hard to get during World War II. And there were pipe manufacturers here in the U.S. that started using, don't you love it when I get halfway through the story and forget the end of it? Rhododendron. Apparently you can get some big rhododendron burls, particular in the South, and yeah, they were making pipes out of rhododendron. Daniel wants to know my opinion on cigars versus pipes, and do I feel pipes offer me more relaxation? Not really, Daniel. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for. I can have a really relaxing evening with a good cigar because I can light it and it'll last me an hour and a half. A pipe really rarely lasts me 20 minutes, but I can relax quite well with a pipe and not even realize I'm repacking it. Yeah, Steve, I saw you saying that smoking cigars is quite difficult these days, and I understand. I hope that resolves soon, buddy. And Cliff Higgins is pointing out that I'm older than him, just to be mean. Thanks, Cliff. Burley Nut Bob is asking the eternal question, what kind of wick do I use in my lighter to get such a big flame? I'll explain, Bob. Steph and Skip, hello, Steph, how you doing? Good to see you tonight. Oh yes, that's right. Beowulf and Miss Kathy are going to be going to a local pipe show tomorrow, so there will not be a live on their channel tomorrow. Good evening, Portsmouth Piper. Good to see you, Mark. So the question of how I get the flame. First off, the flame is not as big as it used to be, believe it or not. Boy, it looks big on the camera, but it's... So you see the wick in the center there. When I first got the Zippo, I pulled the wick up and I clipped it off at the top. So the wick extended all the way to the very top here. And that seemed to be the culprit. And for years I blamed that because you're supposed to have it in the center of the little window there. I finally got bothered by the size of the flame, especially if I'm outdoors, because if the wind blows, you could, burn your eye, which, don't make your flame big. It's dangerous. So I clipped it, and you can see it is in the center, right where they tell you to have it, and it still is a big flame, and I have no explanation for it. I really don't know. Oh, Cliff, okay, I get it now. Daniel, my brother, gotcha. Phil Rivera, hey, how's it going there, Phil? And Tim's going to be the flame. Thank you, Tim. Now Daniel wants to know if Cliff is suggesting he's old. Boy, Cliff, you stepped in it with that one. Blackberries are delicious. I'm not a big fan of berries, Michael, but blackberries are the one that I really enjoy, and they're fortunately quite easy to find. So Cliff is just letting us know that he's a huge Elton John fan. Gotcha, Cliff. Oh, MTMTB got a Peterson Pipe of the Year, and he thinks it was small and overpriced. Sorry, MTMTB. I'm glad you're able to send it back. Peterson just... I had hopes after Ladasi bought them, but I haven't heard good things yet. Yeah, Phil, I guess the idea is that you can suck the flame down. That's why it's at 90 degrees, I guess. Boris the Piper. Hello, Boris. Good to see you tonight. James Stumbo. Good to see you, buddy. Daniel. I'll answer your question in a minute. WK Piper in Cincinnati. Still eating a Schmitz burger. Oh, Odie, that's funny. I wasn't going to bring it up. Good to see you, Odie. Daniel, I have a rotation of sorts. Like I have a 7-day rotation, but I actually rarely follow it. It's just like maybe once a month I go through those 7, and then I've got lots of other pipes. But I will usually smoke 1 pipe a day, but I'll smoke it 8 times. So I don't let them rest the way you're told you're supposed to. And that's worked for me for over 30 years. Other people tell me I'm an idiot, and that's fine. You know, whatever works for you is the right thing to do. I got you, Phil. So it doesn't matter. You can do it with a regular lighter. Yeah. And I use regular Zippos. I have more regular Zippos than pipe Zippos, and I've never really noticed that these provide a huge benefit. So I agree with you. I mean, the reason I bought this one was that it had the pipe on it. You can't really see the pipe anymore because it's been worn away over the years. Steph, that's the truth. I often wonder when if I jump on the live streams, I'm reluctant to even say hello because there's so many people that say hello back to me, and I feel bad if I miss somebody or something. I don't know how you guys keep it all straight, to be honest. You can burn your fingers with a Bic, Daniel. That's true. If you guys don't know the reason we're teasing Odie about his hamburger or cheeseburger, go watch Bean's 316 video on the pipe show, the Columbus Pipe Show. But don't watch it now. Pipe show was a really good time, though. It was great meeting so many folks. Got to hang out with Corvette Jim for a while. That was great. Met WKR Piper in Cincinnati. Wish we had more time to chat there, Odie. That was just a strange night for me. And met St. David, Hillbilly Piper, Beans, Big Country Briar, who I haven't seen. He usually shows up a little bit late. And Smoking Fireman Cody. I know I'm going to forget some folks. Greg Falk, who's usually on the live streams or often on the live streams. Ethan Parsimonious Piper. Yeah, really a great time meeting these folks. Oh, and Eric the Blue Collar Pipe Smoker, who it turns out, a lot of times you meet people and you say, gee, this is different from the impression that I got, but Eric is as goofy in person as he is on videos, so that was nice to see. Rick Allen, how you doing, Rick? Came back from a trip to Ireland and contracted COVID. He blames it on the leprechauns. He took exception to his not kissing the Blarney Stone, but he did manage to get a pipe at the Peterson store. Well, Rick, all is not lost. Daniel's asking for advice on breaking in a mortar pipe compared to a briar pipe. Daniel, I only have one mortar pipe and I just treated it like a briar and didn't have any issues, but maybe there's folks out there with more experience that want to comment on that. Doug Owen, how you doing, Doug? Doug is saying that Bean seemed to be a bit disappointed in the Columbus show. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, the people weren't disappointing. You know, the attendees weren't disappointing. The vendors were disappointing. There just weren't as many of them, and the ones that were there just didn't have as much stuff as you would expect. Just not a great show from that point of view, but from a social point of view, it was fantastic. I missed. Oh, Ron, I'm so sorry to hear that about your dog. I hope all is well. You know, hope for the best. That is sad. But 17 years is a good life, and I'm sure the dog knows that it was loved. Steph wants to know who else is going to Vegas. I wish I was going to Vegas. I'm still thinking about trying, but I know I won't. I know I won't be able to do it. I would love to, but think of me kindly while you're there. The darkest depths of mortar. Oh, okay, Tim. Yeah, so WKR Piper saying it's usually a lot bigger. I don't have any comparison because that was the first time I've been to the Columbus show. I've been to smaller shows, so to me it was actually quite a big show. But each individual table was kind of disappointing. Artie's Place, how you doing tonight, Artie? Good to see you. And there's Texas Piper, Eddie, trying to decide between a pipe or a cigar. Tough call. Oh man, 32 plus at the Vegas show. Gosh. And you're going, right, Phil? I mean, that alone is reason for me to go. I'm serious, Phil. I'd love to meet you, buddy. Paul the Piper. How you doing, Paul? Good to see you tonight. No, Daniel, I don't do piper pairs anymore. I had to stop just because of the time involved, and I couldn't give it the attention that I wanted to. But I've been thinking about a scheme that I might pass by you guys in a bit. Remind me if things slow down that I want to tell you about my scheme. Well, Rick, at least you got a choice there. Michael, I wish so. I'd have to check with Larry on that. But yeah, I didn't point this out. It's my Gumby tamper that I picked up from Larry Blackett at the pipe show, and I'm really happy with this. I loved Gumby as a kid. And you know, there were so many people that I've run into recently in discussions about this tamper that thought Gumby was an invention of Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live. They had no concept that there was a cartoon Gumby, which just confused me. So Steph, do you think if I can convince my wife to go to Vegas that she'd have a good time there? Because that's one way I might be able to go if I can turn it into like a vacation thing. She'll think I'm being spontaneous and romantic, and here I'll just be going to a pipe show. Daniel has a pipe with a metal screw-in tenon. Needs to get a new stem. Any idea on who can fix it? Daniel, the two folks I've been referring people to, first and foremost is Tim West, which is jhlow.com. Tim does wonderful work. He's been doing it for a really long time. And I know he would have the parts for that because he's got the parts for everything. The other person is a newer guy who actually learned from Tim West. His name is Jim Finn, and his website is premiumpolishedpipes.com. So you could check both of them out. Yes, Portsmouth Piper. I can imagine that's the case. I might just have to talk to the wife this evening and see what we can do. Mr. Mike Show. That's funny stuff. Cherokee National Holiday coming up next week. Lots of different activities, traditional games, arts and crafts, social stomp dances, and lots of other stuff. Everyone's welcome, and it's all free. That sounds like a good time there, Steve and Kathy. Gumby is almost ancient history. Well, thank you, Rick. That makes me feel young and vital. Texas Pipe Show announced for November 12th, and you can't make it, Texas Piper? For goodness sakes. That would be fantastic, Mark. I'll definitely keep you posted. I see a couple folks mentioning Briarville, which is also a good place to go. I mean, I know Tim. He's a friend, and we've talked about this, and he agreed to take on the folks that normally would come to me and to treat them well. That's why I recommend him. But Rich has a good reputation at Briarville as well, and I know Jim Finn as well, and I've been really impressed with his work. So I recommend those two guys, but Briarville's another excellent option. I'm forgetting to drink. I love it when I get little snippets like Paul the Piper asking, can you call them? Oh, he's talking about the tracking numbers. Okay. Okay, Steph, I will say that. I don't know if that's going to work, but no offense to you. Actually, she's much more... If you said that to me, I would stay away. Again, no offense to you. I'm just not a huggy kind of guy. My wife would probably get excited about that. So, yeah, I'll try that out and see what happens. Rihanna Keebs, hello there, and over a pipe. How you doing tonight? Incredibly shrinking man. Yeah, I think I'm stable, and I've been stable for a couple months. I hope I don't shrink. That would start to get uncomfortable. Rick Allen's having 10 Russians, a small pipe after COVID. Very relaxing. Glad you got through that fine, Rick, and you can enjoy a pipe again. Oh, I don't know, Steph. The thought of you two going shopping makes my wallet hurt. But then again, as long as I get to spend as much at the pipe show, I guess I shouldn't care. Okay, Tim, now you're putting songs in my head that I can't quite place, but I know that Star Trekking Across the Universe song. I just don't know where I heard it. Gumby and Pokey drove off in a red convertible, and it did not sound like Jim's Corvette. I really loved Gumby and Pokey. I thought those were great cartoons. Oh, Daniel, that won't work because my wife and I have the same gambling habit. We go to the casino up in Bethlehem, PA, for dinner sometimes, and while we're waiting for a table, we'll go into the casino and we'll each like drop $5 in the slot machine and then say, "Oh, we're done." Sometimes we actually leave with like $5.35. So it's not like we're always down. Texas Piper wants to know what's the fix for a loose pipe stem. Well, beeswax is what a lot of people will tell you, but I wouldn't do it. I mean, the right fix is to expand the tenon, but that's hard to do if you don't have the right tools. It's hard to do right. I don't know, Eddie. Probably the best thing to do, I'll show you. Is you need something like this, which is a straight, it's a drill rod actually. So if you have a drill set, find the drill that just quite doesn't fit, almost fits but doesn't quite fit. Heat up the tenon and slide it, not the sharp end, but the end that you would put into the drill, slide it into the tenon. Let it cool down, take it out and try that. If it's too loose, see, this is the problem, that the drills are going to be big steps. So what a lot of people will do is they'll take something like a pencil or a chopstick and put it in. The problem is that's going to trumpet out the end of the tenon, and it will get tight, but then the stem's going to wiggle. So it's hard to do unless you've got something like a set of drill rod that is in very small increments. So for a lot of folks, the beeswax is probably the best option, or send it to somebody like Tim West. Or if you have a friend that likes you, you might ask him offline if he'd be willing to fix that for you. That maybe has a set of those. Over the Pipes asking if I'm still using the app. Do you mean the Noom app there? If that's what you mean, no. I actually stopped using it just because I didn't seem to need it anymore. Hey, James Stumbo, have a great weekend, buddy. Thanks for joining us. I got to the point where I was plateaued for a couple of months. I stopped paying, but I was still logging my food. You can continue to use the app. It's just you don't get like the coaching and stuff anymore. And I never missed logging a meal, which I think is part of why I had the success I had. And I think I actually exceeded the app's capacity. It just started running really slow and buggy on me, so I stopped using it. I switched over to MyFitnessPal, which I don't use that regularly anymore. I try to remember, but I don't remember every day to log. So I hope that answers the question. Sorry, that was a long, drawn-out answer. Oh, Dr. Demento. Could be, Tim. Yeah, Phil, that's true, but beeswax also can build up and can lead to a cracked tenon when the humidity changes. And I've actually had to repair more than a few cracked tenons where I wound up scraping beeswax off the inside of the, more than a few cracked mortises where I had to scrape beeswax off the inside of it. So I hate suggesting beeswax, but I know for most folks it's probably the easiest option. Yeah, definitely weather changes and humidity have an effect on that, Eddie. And I sometimes notice, it's none of my beeswax, I got you, Tim. There's Big Country Briar, how you doing, Cole? On to book shopping at Phil Rivara, fantastic. Yeah, I've noticed some pipes just suddenly are loose, and I smoke them, put them back on the rack, and maybe they'll be loose 2 or 3 times when I get to them, and then they're fine again. Oh, Michael, I got to put my glasses on for that. I can't read that word, but I want to know what it is. Calibrated obturators. Well, now I'm going to have to look that up. A set of calibrated obturators. Well, that's what this is. This is a set of drill rods in, I forget what the increments are, but they're like maybe, they're quite small. Maybe like 100,000ths of an inch. No, that's too much. Anyway, they're in small increments, but you have to buy them one at a time. They're about $3 each. Yeah, Phil, you would assume, but Patrick Grant, how you doing, Patrick? And Meerschaum Mountaineer 304, hello. Good to see you both tonight. Hey, Patrick, are you going to make it to that Albany Pipe Show in October? Yeah, I agree, Phil. If you're not comfortable with the heating thing, and you definitely can make it wonky, beeswax is probably the best thing to do. Tony DeRusha, how you doing tonight, Tony? At least it's the best thing to do for a temporary fix, and maybe send it to somebody to get it expanded properly. Oh, Michael, you're going to make me do this, aren't you? Now we're going to watch as Mike measures things and tries to do math in his head. So the smallest one is 0.118, and then we go up to 0.136. What's that, about 20,000? I suppose you could get a rough idea of the size of your airway, and then order a couple around that size. But yeah, beeswax is probably the right thing to do. Not sure, Patrick. I'm gonna try, and it'd be great to see you, but we'll meet someday. Daniel Leslie wants to know, most interesting pipe story, good or bad, in all the time you smoked a pipe. Anything funny happen or anything that took you off guard? I'm going to have to think through it, Daniel. I'll think about it and get back to you. St. David's Pipe. I'm going to try to go to the Albany show. Are you going, buddy? Oh, Cole, I know how you can fix that. I know for a fact he's going to be selling t-shirts at the Albany show. Good to hear it, Tony. Uh-oh, Phil, you better go line the foe. There's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Well, the least aggressive method of dealing with a loose tenon there, Glenn, is to put the pipe back on the rack and pick another one. But good to see you, Glenn. Yeah, Puny Pipe Man, those Vermont Freehand ones, unfortunately, they're cones, so they do that trumpeting thing. And it's fine, you know. I'm probably being overly picky about it. I would never judge you, Steph. Never. I don't think anyone else would. St. David's Pipe lost the stream. He wants to know if anyone else is going to Albany. So far, no one has fessed up to it, David. Tricks to make an air hole smaller. No. Sorry, MTMTB. That's a tough one. I mean, you can put a briar sleeve down in there and drill it and stuff, but it's not easy. I've done it, but I don't know of any simple way to do it. So Daniel's funny or unusual pipe story was scoring the rim on his very first pipe, and he was mad, but he learned, and it happens to the best. It actually happens to me all the time. I don't even try to avoid it. But, you know. You could just smoke the hell out of it. True, Glenn. All right, Big Country Briar might be going to Albany. Yeah, it could be that it's dry, Phil. That's a good point. I mean, I've even heard people say put a drop of water in. I don't know if that's a great idea, but certainly breathing in it a bit might help. Hey, Cole, if Jim picks you up in the vet, you guys can stop off and grab me on the way. Although that's going to get kind of crowded, isn't it? Some pipes can be possessed, Tim. Certainly some pipes have a spirit about them. So Daniel wants a funny pipe story, and I'm not coming up with one. I mean, I can tell you I can probably rattle off a few funny things that have happened to me. Like the number of times, the first year I got my Bing's favorite, the number of times I walked into our screen door with the thing in my mouth, it was kind of embarrassing, to be honest. Ah, the vet's parked October through March. That's not going to work. Oh well. There you go. Michael Case, cube cuts pop out of a pipe and burn holes in carpets. There's a lesson learned. Armchair Piper wants to squeeze into the Corvette too. That's going to get crowded fast, Ed. Oh, those Cane Fs are nice cigars, Texas Piper. I really like those. Ah, I was just going to ask you what that was, Steph. A Mexican chili stew. Gotcha. You have to run, Rick? Well, that's okay. I'm sure there's many things she lets you get away with, so you go take care of that, and thanks for joining us tonight. I don't know, Tony. I don't know how he would drive if you sat on his lap. Pondering with Pepe's Pipes. How you doing, Pepe? Pepe's just back from Bozeman. Nice. Hope you had a good time there. There you go, sailor. Gave up smoking a pipe while driving after turning his head and striking the pipe on the door glass one too many times. That's why I always clench on this side. Mr. Scripto, how you doing tonight, buddy? Sorry I missed you in Columbus. Would have loved to have met you. And there's Jers Piper. Good evening to you. There you go. Steve, I assume it's Steve, but Beowulf and Miss Kathy had the same problem driving and almost rammed the pipe down their throat, forgetting the side window when it was up when they went to look out. It happens. "1984 Corvette blasting Van Halen's Panama." That's pretty much what 1984 sounded like, if I recall. Yeah, I feel bad I had to run out early, Mr. Scripto, but to be honest, I never would have made it home. I would have had to have gotten a hotel for the night somewhere along the way. I was beat when I got home. And apparently I just missed the rain, which is funny because I didn't see a raindrop all the way home. Oh yes, pipe rings around the world. Coming up in September. Ed, remind me of the date. I'm excited about it for sure. Bicycle rider smoking a corncob pipe. That would be very Popeye-like. Oh, so you beat the rain too, Mr. Scripto, but it was chasing you. Yeah. September 15th, pipe rings around the world. Thank you, Ed. We got to get ready for that. And I think Ed's recent video talked about it, if I'm not mistaken. Going back to stupid pipe tricks, something I've done more than once is I've tried to light an unpacked pipe. That's always an exciting experience. Oh, that's terrible there. Who was it? I missed it now. I think it got retracted. Okay, I won't say it then, because apparently it wasn't intended. The Urban Hermit. How you doing, Everett? I've also packed a pipe on top of ash. Yeah, thought I had cleaned it out and not cleaned it out. There you go, Big Country Briar. That sounds like a plan. Jim PM, good evening to you, sir. We finally figured out that Jim was the guy that gave us the recommendation for Schmitz. So thank you for that, Jim. It was an excellent recommendation. Although Corvette Jim was very upset with us that we did not get cream puffs. So we just weren't a desserty crowd, Jim. Okay, here we go. Cadre Jim. Cousin came home to find pipes floating in his bathroom sink. His 5-year-old daughter heard Dad say he needed to clean his pipes. That is terrible. Ash is good. I don't know, Jim. It wasn't the tastiest pipe I've ever had. Oh, Daniel packed a pipe, walked away, forgot that he packed it, and packed a second pipe. Well, you should never walk away from a pipe once you pack it, Daniel. That was your mistake there, buddy. Oh, Tim, that can't be true. Guy bought a Meerschaum as his first pipe and thought it was defective because it started looking rough after trying to clean it in the dishwasher. Oh my goodness. Little Piper Todd. How you doing, Todd? Yes, Big Country Buyer. That Schmitz Dark was fantastic. It was tempting to get a growler of that. Just didn't know if I could keep it cold. Am I saying keep it cold? We would have drank it in the courtyard that night. Yeah, next time we'll get the cream puffs. Yeah, Eddie, I agree with you. I don't know what happened with the cake version of Haunted Bookshop, but it sure wasn't Haunted Bookshop anymore. Tim, I'm not going to try to say that because I will not be able to get through the sentence. But very clever. It's like a Peter Piper pipe packing poem. Yeah, they had a fudge shop right across the street there, Jim. I think they were closed by the time we got there, though. Well, folks, I think my Haunted Bookshop is out here. Let me get my... Yeah, we've finished this. Quite a sadness. But I've called an end to my Haunted Bookshop fast. Not that it was ever a fast, but I was trying to not smoke more than one bowl a day. Mostly to to smoke through some other stuff. And that went well, but I got bored. So I got a dispensation from Armchair Piper. He said I was allowed to smoke Haunted Bookshop on my way to the pipe show, while I was at the pipe show, and when I was coming back. And of course, by the time I got back, I decided that I was just allowed to smoke Haunted Bookshop again. So I'm going to have some more Haunted Bookshop in my Lane Crown Achievement pipe. And I've got the luxury pouch. Pondering with Pepe's Pipes asking if anyone has heard of Victoria's Candies and Chocolates in Hazleton, PA. I have not. Yeah, Tony, it'll do that to you. Yeah, I think that railroad station is a pretty heavy Latakia blend there, Jim. I don't think I've ever tried it, but I've heard other folks comment on it. Meerschaum Mountaineer picked up another Meerschaum head pipe. 9 inches long, bowl as big around as your thumb, and 2 1/4 deep. That's gonna last you. That's gonna be a nice long-lasting smoke. Yes, Daniel, I'm quite familiar with both Pegasus and Old Joe Krantz. Where's my lighter? There it is. They're all in the same family for sure, but Old Joe Krantz has more Red Virginia, and Pegasus does not have Perique. It has Black Cavendish instead. And all very good. It's a family company, the Victoria's Chocolate and Candies. Pepe, I'll have to look for it next time I'm in the Hazleton area. I vaguely know where Hazleton is. Urban Hermit is smoking Haunted Bookshop in a Phil Rivera poker. That's the second Haunted Bookshop in a Phil Rivera of the night. Good deal there, Everett. It's your Scranton. Okay. Where are you located, Pepe? You're in Western PA? Hey, it's Eric, the blue collar pipe smoker. How you doing, Eric? You missed it. I said nice things about you. Did I mention I'm drinking Yingling? I don't know if it matters, but I'm drinking Yingling. That's probably why your ears hurt, Eric. Almost certainly. Ah, okay. Gotcha, Pepe. Probably not quite the same thing, Ron, but similar name. Gotcha, Pepe. Yeah, I'm a diehard Eagles fan. I married into a Steelers family, so I have to pretend sometimes. No, I mean, living in Pittsburgh for, how long was I there? 6 years, I think. It's hard not to be a Steelers fan. It's just contagious. Oh yeah, that Hershey Porter is very good, Eddie. I think you'll like that. I mean, if you like porters and you like chocolate, it's quite good. All right, old fogey Steph, you have a good night too, and have a great weekend. Good seeing you. Tim's packing his third bowl of 8 State Burley and a Comoy Billiard. Very nice, Tim. I still haven't tried 8 State Burley. I've got a tin of it. I just haven't opened it. Yeah, Pepe, that'd be great. I think Beans is going to try to plan a meetup in early fall. Don't know when yet. Probably late October, early November, something like that. Yeah, Tim, we ignore the fact that you're a Pats fan, but how can you be a Pats fan and like the Steelers? I just don't know how you can hold those two things in your mind at the same time. I haven't tried it yet, Eric. Fireside chat. Eric was kind enough to give me a full pouch. I have it. I put it over there. Full pouch of Ken Byron Ventures Fireside Chat, and I've got so many things open right now, Eric. I've got to get some of them smoked down before I open another thing. I just won't be able to do it justice, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, Cole, that's pretty much what it was like. Yeah, Pepe, wasn't that a wonderful night? I still think of that and just smile. Ron is smoking Laughing Moon in a rustic lawn pot shape filled with Peter Heinrich's Dark Strong. Vacher Laughing, I'm sorry, smoking a Vacher Laughing Moon. Gotcha. With Heinrich's Dark Strong. Nice. Yes, David, I think you might be the only one from Western Pennsylvania that does not like professional football. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just have not met anyone else. Oh, Tim, don't start me on officiating and the Patriots. You know what, Tim? We're just not going to talk about it. A lot of Kia smoked duck. That sounds interesting, Phil. Daniel's got his 320 KS with capstan blue. Godell gave us a gift. Well, he's been giving the Patriots a gift for 15 years. We're not going to talk about it, Tim. You know, okay, I'm going to talk about it. I will blame the officials when a team I don't like wins. I admit to that. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but I never have blamed the officials when my team loses. I just think that's not good. That's sour grapes. Eric thinks that he doesn't have something worthwhile to share in his videos. So, Eric, if that was a criteria, I would never be on. That's great advice, MTMTB. Never be in a position for the officials to decide a game. I get that, Phil. It's hard for me these days to be a fan of any particular player because of those kinds of issues. But I still have some loyalties to some teams, regardless of who's playing for them. And, you know, I've been a Phillies fan my whole life, and the Phillies have pretty much sucked my whole life, with a few notable exceptions. But, you know, what are you going to do? Oh, I know people do it, Ron. I'm not saying that it never happens. I just don't think it's a good thing to do. I have no problem blaming them when other teams win, but your team isn't involved. But when you actually see your team lose and you say, oh, that's the official's fault, I don't know. McNabb and Brian Dawkins were childhood favorites. Oh, God, Eddie, you're making me feel old. McNabb was a childhood favorite? God. Yeah, Phil, you know, that's raising a really good point. The whole idea of something like track and field or martial arts, where it's really a singular effort. It's a very different experience watching something like that, and that's one of the reasons why I like baseball so much. Because baseball, it's becoming less so because of some of the rule changes and stuff. But you know, baseball, you basically got one person standing at the plate trying to hit a ball, and you know, there's other sports like that. But then you got things on the other end of the extreme, like soccer, where, well, it's a random walk and a ball sometimes happens to fall in a giant net. Yeah, I think those sports where the one person can be the star of the game, can actually win or lose it, are more interesting. All right, Steve and Kathy, thanks for joining us, and you have a great weekend. Enjoy that pipe show. Get your beauty sleep. Must be nice indeed, Eric. I haven't had one in quite a while myself. I can do baseball in any form, Jim PM. I mean, I've actually watched Little League baseball. I don't care. I just like the game. But my favorite way to enjoy baseball is actually on the radio, because that's what I grew up doing. And live. Daniel's going to stick with bowling. Nothing wrong with that, Daniel. .777's taking off. Well, you have a great weekend, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Ping pong and badminton fan. I work with a woman whose brother is a professional badminton player. I did not know these things existed. Don't get Tim started on polymer bowling lanes. You know, Phil, I grew up in the nosebleed seats, and Because me and my dad used to walk to Veterans Stadium. It was not very far from our house, and we'd pay, oh gosh, it was like a couple of dollars to get in. Just walk up to the window and pay. You didn't have to get tickets in advance or anything. And yeah, we'd often be way up, but you could see the whole game, you know? Eric's working on, you gonna try to get that new sport into the Olympics? Yes, AM radio. Absolutely, Sailor. Yeah, I agree, Phil. There's something about, even if you're not paying attention to the game, just hearing that game playing on a summer day on a radio, it just feels right. It is singularly American. Yeah, I love the minor league teams too. I mean, my wife and I will go up to Allentown sometimes to see the Iron Pigs play, and that's always a great time. You got a point there, Ron. I can't argue with that. Full contact tiddlywinks. That would be interesting. There you go, Phil. Yeah, very patriotic. Really, Patrick, a pro squash tournament in Grand Central Terminal. That's pretty cool. Indy 500 on the radio. That's interesting. That wouldn't work for me, Jim. I mean, I've never been able to listen to hockey on the radio. I'm not a hockey fan, but I can watch it, you know, and going to a game is fine. I enjoy that. I can watch it on TV, but on the radio I just can't. I guess it's because it's too fast and it's just too hard. You have to listen really closely, and I would think that Indy 500 would be like that. You know, you'd have to constantly be listening to the changes that are occurring and everything. I don't know. Not a fan of hockey or racing, so I'm probably not the right person to be talking about this. Oh, that's cool, Phil. I didn't know you played soccer. I'll have to remember not to malign soccer around you. Cloud Chaser CBD Reviews wants to know what I'm smoking. I am smoking Haunted Bookshop in a Lane Limited Crown Achievement pipe. Oh, Texas Piper. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you so much. Give me a foghorn. Very kind, and it definitely does help. That should be an Olympic sport, Daniel. Bollywood music videos? We've talked about this before. I love watching cricket, but Bollywood music videos, that's funny, Phil. Yeah, Ron, it is fun. I mean, I feel a little odd going to there's a local field not too far from my house, and they play little league ball there, and I would love to go and sit there and watch it, but the parents around here are so protective of their kids. They probably think I was some kind of a pedophile or something sitting there, and because it's only the kids and the parents. There's nobody else there. Very small crowds. I'd love to sit there and watch the kids play because it is fun. I even like watching when they put the Little League World Series on. I love those games because those kids put their heart and soul into it. Oh yeah, went to Dodger games and listened to Vince Scully on the radio. Absolutely. Vince Scully just passed away not that long ago. What a voice he had. Name that pipe. You have a great night too. Thanks for joining us, buddy, and have a good weekend. Oh, that's fantastic, Eric. Maybe you'll let me come out to your neck of the woods and watch the games. Oh, Bad News Bears is a great movie, Sailor. That is a great movie. Oh, that's great, Jim. Watching the grandson play. I wasn't well coordinated enough to play baseball when I was a kid, but I played Little League football. And my grandfather got me into that, and he used to come to all the games and stuff. So there's some great memories around that. He got me into that, and he got me into boxing. Those were the only two sports I ever played other than like pickup games in the street. Don't urinate on the outfield. He never listens. That's funny, Ron. You would too, wouldn't you, Eric? You absolutely would. You'd have me hauled away. Tim was typically in center field. Never tried golf, Jim. Other than putt-putt golf. Quite good at that. Which I understand has actually become a competitive sport as well. Maybe I should dust off my putter. Tim did a few years in Little League. I tried out for teams. I tried to play, just with friends and stuff. I just wasn't very good, but I loved the game. That's what I played, Michael Case. I played left out. I was always the last one picked when we were choosing teams. Steve Carlton. Tim wants to know favorite baseball player of all time. Yeah, putts golf doesn't pay much at all, Phil. Oh, Daniel's reaching way back, going with Babe Ruth. Yeah, the peripheral stuff around golf I would enjoy, Jim. No question about it. It's the actual swinging the club I don't think I'd do too well with. Wow, Pepe played a lot of positions there before he broke his leg playing baseball in 6th grade. Wow. Johnny Bench, Big Country Briar. And Ed's going with Mike Schmidt, a teammate of Carlton. Oh, you played basketball, Eddie. I was terrible at that too. Too short. Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand half the things that are in the Olympics anymore. I haven't watched it in, God, it's probably been 15 years since I watched an Olympic event. Broke your leg, but you were safe. There you go, Pepe. That's a warrior. Nolan Ryan, good choice, Sailor. Definitely an all-around good guy. And a fantastic pitcher, for sure. Jim Rice gets ignored. Did I miss something there, Tim? I'm sorry. Or are you just saying that Jim Rice generally gets ignored? But Jim Rice is a fine choice. Reggie Jackson, good choice there, Patrick. Ouch. Yeah, Phil, I think most would have quit after that. Pete number 2. I can't see the small print. Pete number 2. Hello, Pete number 2. Good to see you tonight. Armchair Piper played basketball and soccer in high school. Ah. Big Country Briar says his dad was a coach and he used Johnny Bench to teach him how to catch and Pete Rose to teach him how to hit. Yeah, those were high bars. Corvette Jim's going to call it a night. Well, thanks for joining us, Jim. You have a great weekend too, buddy. Tim got concussed by a fastball. Ah, so you're one of them early risers there, Eddie. Fun while it lasted, huh? MTMTB is checking out for the night. Well, you have a great weekend, buddy. Tony513, how you doing, Tony? Thank you. This is a Lane Crown Achievement pipe. Eric's favorite baseball player of all time, Cal Ripken Jr. Good choice. Favorite White Sox player would be Paul Konechko. Don't know him, Eric, but I'm sure it's a great choice. Oh no, Phil. Got locked out of your phone? That's terrible, sorry. Tony DeRouche is picking Catfish Hunter because of his name. Daniel Leslie, best baseball movie. Ah, best baseball movie. I know what people are going to say, but I'm going to stick with Bad News Bears. Bull Durham, that was a good one. 8 men out. Cunningham, Piper Hammer, and Hank Aaron. Field of Dreams. Brewster's Millions. It had John Candy in it. Say no more. The Rookie. Another 8 men out vote. Michael Case is going with Minnie Minosa. Northwoods Piper, greetings to you tonight. Good to see you. Well, folks, we're coming up on, we got like 4 minutes to go here. My pipe is close to done. I might be able to get a couple more puffs out of it. I've got a lot of beer to drink, so I'm not going to finish my drink tonight because that's just a silly amount to drink in 4 minutes. The Natural was a good movie, Jeffrey. That's a good one. He says it's a silly amount to drink. Okay, maybe I will finish it. Thank you, JMZ. You have a great weekend too, buddy. Thank you, Eric. Tony, thanks for joining us, buddy. Have a good weekend. Tim's cheering me on, so. Apparently I can do it. I underestimated my abilities. Yeah, Phil, I'm going to do what I can. I think it's unlikely, but man, I'd love to have a drink with you, buddy. And with lots of you folks. So let's see if we can make this happen. So I will be on Sunday morning back with a video for sure. Talk about some shop updates. A lot of stuff has happened. So if you're into shop updates, something to look forward to. You might have noticed it's kind of clean behind me. Eric says Netflix, The Battered Bastards of Baseball is a must-watch. I'll have to look for that, Eric. No, Daniel, we're not going to have a chug contest for sure. I know, Clarence. I just was trying to be less of a lush, but yeah, I could have downed it. With that, folks, thanks so much for joining me. High point of my week as always. I appreciate you coming back after the absence last week in particular. And I'll see you on Sunday. Look forward to seeing you next week live. And you all take care and have a fantastic weekend. Bye now.